how you doing? Welcome to Gaming Solo. My name is Rob, your solo gamer friend. This is a Gaming Solo playthrough of Blitzkrieg, World War II in 20 minutes. Designed by Paulo Mori and produced by PSC Games. If you have not had the opportunity and you want to set the board up, go ahead and pause right here, go to the description below, and go ahead and click on the link for the setup. Then catch back up with me once the board is set up. Let me pull the stratagem tokens, you pull everything else, and then you can play right along with me. We'll use the same stratagem tokens, and then at the end of the game you can let me know if you've done better than me, which is a good chance you have. But other than that, let's go ahead and get into the board breakdown real quick, and then we'll get the playthrough started. At the top of the board you have your war track and victory track. That's of course tracking your points. But the most important thing is identifying the theaters, the battle spaces, and the campaigns. So there are 5 theaters on the board right here, between Western Europe, Pacific Ocean, Eastern Europe, Africa and the Middle East, and Southeast Asia. That is one full theater each, so a total of 5. Then each theater will have campaigns of either 2 or 3 rows. Like this will have 2 rows, this will have 3 rows. So this row is a complete campaign. There's 3 campaigns in Western Europe, versus in Southeast Asia there's only 2 campaigns. Then each of the squares within the campaigns is called a battle space. So when I use the terms theater, campaign, or battle space, that's what I'm talking about. But now we got the basic terminology out of the way. Let's go and get into the game. Alright, a couple more things real quick. First of all, if you haven't already figured out, blue represents water, brown represents land, and blue and brown within all the battle spaces represents land and water. Which is real simple. It means land pieces can only go on land areas. Watercraft can only go on water areas. Aircraft can go on everything. And if it's both blue and brown, that means they all 3 can go there. Also, you cannot take a campaign within the second row until you completely close out a campaign in the first row. So, in order for me to select this battle space here, all 3 of these battle spaces have to be closed out. Now they got that out of the way with, let's go ahead and get started. Alright, the first stratagem token we draw is the economic warfare token. So we will take the old token, put it in the bag, which was the steamroll token. And the economic warfare token has 2 filters, a theater filter and a position filter. So the theater filter is prioritized theaters with industrial production and or bombing spaces. So the theaters that it could work into that would have that would be Western Europe, Pacific Ocean, Eastern Europe, and that's it. So we're going to go to one of these 3 theaters. Now the position filter is if the AI has equal or less than 4 units, then we prioritize industrial production spaces, then bombing spaces. Otherwise we prioritize bombing spaces, then industrial spaces. So it's going to go, it doesn't have less than 4, it has 5. So therefore it's only going to go here. So Pacific Ocean is the location it's going to. Now I got to figure out what I'm putting there. So if you look at the AI bot selection procedures, and when you look at it, it looks like a lot. But trust me, it's not as bad as it looks. It's actually pretty simple. So first thing you want to do is, can the AI close out the theater? So we already got an arrow. We already told what theater we're going to. So even if it could close out another theater, it's stuck going here, because it's prioritizing bomb over industrial. Win the campaign. It can't win the campaign because there's still slots available. Then we look at where it can legally place stuff. It can only place aircraft and ships there. That's all it has anyways. And then how we decide what we're going to put there is, first, units that will close the theater or the campaign. Not going to happen because, like I said, this will be the first unit going down. So pretty much, looking at what I have an aircraft here that has a lightning bolt symbol. That symbol represents a Blitz Air Force. So the AI is going to play that, because the advantage is when it plays a Blitz, it gets to take another turn immediately. And it's going to place that Blitzing Air Force on the bombing section of the battle space, right there. The battle track is not going to move at all because 0 points there, and of course the bombing space does not give it points. And by going to the bombing space, the AI gets to discard 1 random token from my reserve and puts it back in the bag, which reduces my token pool to 2. And it got rid of the battleship. So I have a tank and a tank, so I can only go to land spaces on my turn. And that would end the AI's turn, but like I said, the AI used the Blitzing Air Force, so it gets to go again. It doesn't replenish the token it just used because it's used another token. And at the end of your turn, you only go up 1 token. But it takes advantage, so I'm going to draw another token for the AI, and it is For the Glory. And we'll take this one, put it back in the bag. And For the Glory, it also has two filters. As a theater filter, it's going to prioritize highest victory point campaigns, then theaters with victory point spaces. So the highest victory point campaign right now is right here, 3 out of all the ones that can go. So it is definitely going to go to Africa and the Middle East. The position filter is it prioritizes victory point spaces. So it's going to go here, no matter what. Now I got to figure out what unit I'm going to put there. And since it's multicolored, I can put the ones going to give it the most points, which is an aircraft. So aircraft goes here. Because it's a 2 on the aircraft, it goes up 2 slots on the track. And it earned 1 victory point, so it goes up on the war track by 1 point. Now I finally get to go. First I replace a token for the AI. And it drew a battleship with the numeric value 1. Only got 2, so I can only go to land-based areas. So I think I'm going to Eastern Europe Industrial. I will move the war track marker 1 space. But the reason I'm going there, it allows me to grab an additional token from my bag and add it. That's going to be the end of my turn, so I'm actually going to grab that token from placing it on the industry, and then I'm going to grab another one for the end of my turn, so I'm back up to 3 tokens. Now it's the AI's turn. Reach into the bag, grab the stratagem token out, and it drew research and development. So for research and development, it has 3 filters. It has a theater filter, prioritize areas with research spaces. So it's going to go here, here, and here. So Western Europe, Pacific Ocean, and Africa and the Middle East. Then it's going to prioritize research spaces only. So on the battle spaces, we're good there. And the unit filter does not apply, so don't worry about that. And now we got to decide how this is going to work out. So research spaces only. Can it close a campaign? Yes, it can. It close a campaign right there, so that's where it's going to go. And it's going to put the highest value. So put the number 2 aircraft there. It's going to move 2 spaces that way. It closes out the campaign, so he gets 2 victory points. So it's up to 3. And because he went to the research, he gets to draw a special weapon out of the special weapons bag, the yellow token, and put it in his bag. Try not to look at it. I mean, unless you really want to know what he has, I prefer to be surprised. That ends AI's turn. He's already closed out 1 campaign in the Pacific Ocean area. So now I get to go. I'm going to go and close out a campaign. So I'm going to go to Eastern Europe. The only play I can is play my tank on the tactical advantage. So first of all, I get to move this 1 space. And on the tactical advantage, the number allows you to advance on the victory track, theater track, 1 more space. And I close that out, so I get 2 points. Alright, that campaign's closed out. Now I get to replenish I forgot to replenish AI's token. Let me replenish his real quick. He has 3 battleships. He has 4 battleships, so he can only go to the ocean. And then I'll get to replenish mine before I draw the next stratagem token. And I just drew a general. So the general is considered an army. Advance 1 space on the battle track for each army and air force you have already deployed in this theater of operation. So when I put that general in the theater of operation, if I put him here, I get to advance up to 3 spaces on the battle track. 1 for the general and 2 for each of the spaces up there. So I might want to hold off on that one until it's better to my advantage. Now it's the AI's turn. Draw another stratagem token. Get a good shake up in there. And I drew big guns. Alright, big guns unit filters are. So if there was a special weapon out here, the yellow token, that would ignore all of the other tokens and focus on that. Otherwise, you ignore tokens that cannot cause the greatest change. So tokens that cannot cause the greatest change are these 3 right here. So this one is the one most available because it gives me 3, or gives the Automa 3 points within the theater track. It can't close out a theater, and it cannot close out a campaign. So then it's going to look for the most empty spaces in a campaign. That's the most empty spaces. That's the most because it can start the second row now. And that's the most. So there's a 1, 2, 3, 4-way tie right now. So we look for the highest victory points in a campaign. Well, the highest victory points would be this one and this one. So therefore we still have a tie. And then bottom line, you just pick from top to bottom. That's the final tiebreaker. So top to bottom, right here it goes. So the battleship can go right here. It's going to give 3 points back towards the center there. So I kind of offset everything I did right there. And that ends the AI turn. We'll go ahead and grab a token out for them. Replace what we just played. And another battleship. So we're kind of keeping them to the seas at least. And now it's my turn. I have my general, which can give me him plus these two, a total of like 4 more points actually. If I put him here, 5 more points, which will get me down to that shield. And kind of offset everything he did. But the issue I have also is he's beating me in every theater except for here and here, and it's tied. So I got to offset some of the damage he's causing me. So I think I want to take my battleship. I think I want to go to the Pacific Ocean. And I think I'm going to go, I want to go here because that'll give me a total of 5 points this direction, but I need more tokens on the board. So I'm going to have to just go here, grab more tokens. I can put a lower level token there if I have to. And then I'll go ahead and give myself 3 points back towards the Allied section. And I get to pull a token out of the bag and add it. So I'm actually adding 2 more tokens to my board now. 1 for now, 1 for the end of play. And I got a tank that's worth 3. And I got a battleship that's worth 1. Alright. If you guys are enjoying the content being produced by Gaming Solo, then please like and subscribe to the channel. If you have any suggestions how to make this channel better, or if you have any idea of type of games you want to see played, then let me know in the comments below. If you're not comfortable putting your comments in the public domain, then by all means email me at gamingsolo101@gmail.com. The email link is in the description below. And let me know there. And I promise you that I will not make that information public. And once I'm done with that email and I no longer need to reference it because of your suggestions, then I delete the email so it's out of my system for good. But other than that, thank you very much for spending your time watching my playthroughs, and it's really humbling and appreciated. And I can't give you back that time, so I'm hoping that what I'm doing here is suffice for your time. Before I go any further, I missed one step. The Automa landed or surpassed one of the shields on the theater track. So they automatically gain a victory point. Now what happens is, if for some reason I come over here and I gain this back, if you cross back over this victory point going the other direction, you lose those victory points. So that's the only victory points that will fluctuate throughout this game. So therefore the Automa gained a victory point, so if I go here and I back that up enough spaces, then he'll lose that victory point. Same thing of course will happen to me. But other than that, let's continue through the playthrough. Alright, the unit filters for big guns is, first filter is ignore non-special weapons units if any special weapon units are present. Layman's term, if you have a yellow token out here and it's present, then ignore the rest of the tokens. But we don't have any yellow tokens out here, so we continue on. And then it says ignore units that cannot cause the greatest change. Layman's terms again, pick the unit that can cause the most change. This unit right there can cause the most change. So you have 3 1s and a 2. That 2 causes more change than the 1s, so that's the unit that can cause the most change. So and then we go into the site selection. So first of all, we can't close out any theaters. There's nothing available to close out with only 2 points. And even if they went on a shield. We cannot close out any campaigns because all the campaigns have at least 2 slots available still. So then we have to go into the tiebreaker because the strategy filter was, we've already deciphered that. So the first tiebreaker is most empty spaces in your campaigns. So there's 3 empty spaces here. There's 3 in this one. There's only 2 in that one. 3 in this one and 3 in this one. So we have 4 out of 5 that are tied. So let me look at the next tiebreaker. Highest VPs for current campaign. So highest VPs are this one and this one for the tiebreaker. So we're down to 2. We still got a tie. Then the final tiebreaker is you select from top to bottom. So top to bottom is the same as when you roll the dice when you had to decide where the theater tracks are going to be at. We do the same thing. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 2, that's 4. So that's the highest, that's the top. So now we know we're going here for sure. So we got to find positions we can legally place a unit. It's a battleship, so it can go in all 3 places. Can't close the theater again, like I said, we've already identified that with the campaign. We've already identified the stratagem filters, so we're going to go in priority order. So propaganda locations that have at least, if you have greater than 20 points, the area doesn't have greater than 20 points, but there's no propaganda location anyways. strategic advantage. There's not a strategic advantage. That's a tactical advantage. That would be strategic advantage. Propaganda, if I'm leading by 3 points or greater. Once again, there's no propaganda, but I'm not leading anyways. Then we look at industrial production. If the AI unit has greater than 4 points, it's sitting at equal or greater. It does, but still there's no industrial production. Then we go into research. Research is right here, therefore the AI gets to go to research. So the AI goes on to research. It moves the stratagem, not stratagem filter, but it moves the battle track 2 spaces back to the right. Now if you notice on the research, there's a numerical number 2 right there. So that means the AI gets to reach into the research pile, the yellow tokens, pull out 2 of them, and he adds them directly to his reserve. So let's go ahead and do that there. So he gets to add a number 3 jet craft and a number 4 battle tank. So he's up to 5 tokens again, plus his turn is over, so he gets to drag another one. So he has 6 tokens to his arsenal, to my little 4 right now. And he draws a number 1 aircraft. So now it's my turn. So I'm kind of struggling again, so I might need to make some adjustments here. I may have to do research myself. I need some more special tokens, so I'm going to go here. I'll put my tank right there on the research. I get to move 3 spaces to the positive for me. And I get to grab 2 research tokens myself and add them to my reserve. And the ones I drew is a jet aircraft, value of 4. And the next one is another jet aircraft with bombs on it with the value of 1. So pretty much the aircraft with the bombs on it, what that means is that when I carry out the effect in that battle space, I can also carry out a bombing effect. So I get to do the effect from the space plus a bombing effect. And pretty much a bombing effect means I get to discard 1 random token from the AI's reserve there. The circle X on the special tokens, it just means that whenever I place a unit token, I get to ignore the effects of the occupied battle space. So pretty much if I put the circle X token here, I wouldn't take the effect of the +2 for it. So it kind of, it's one of those tokens that you have to decide where you want to place that. I would probably place it here because there's no effect, or here, versus here for bombing and industrial and stuff like that. So kind of works against you, it feels like, in a way. But that's the end of my turn, other than I get to draw another token. And it's an aircraft with the numeral value of 1. Going to draw another stratagem token, and this one is got the paratroopers again, which is rapid deployment. Alright, the filters for rapid deployment is simple. It's just choose the leftmost or topmost valid unit. So right now this is the leftmost or topmost valid unit. And then of course we see if we can close out a theater. It cannot close out a theater and win. Can it close out a campaign and win? It can close this campaign out, but it's only going to get 1 victory point on the battle track. So does it really want to go there? Because it can't win. It'll give me the victory points. I'll go there. So it's going to skip that because it's not advantageous for it to close that out right now because the battle track's on my side still. So then it's going to go to the tiebreakers. So the campaign with most empty spaces, we have 3, 3, and 3. We have 3 areas with most empty spaces: Western Europe, Africa, Middle East, and Southeast Asia. So that's not going to work for it. So then it has to go with the one with the most victory points. And the one with the most victory points, of course, is back to the Middle East. So then it goes to its position tiebreaker. So there's not any propaganda, so skip that. Go right to strategic advantage. And of course, strategic advantage is this location right here with the 3. So it's going to go here, +1 on the battle track. And it gets to move any other battle track other than the one it's on 3 spaces. And I think I would move this 1, 2, 3 because it brings it back even, which makes it more difficult well, it's not going to make it more difficult. I can still win it, but I think that bringing the advantage back here, so that way this campaign is a little bit easier for it to fight. And that's the end of his turn. Go ahead and pull a token out for it. And I drew the number 1 aircraft. And now it's my turn. I think I'm going to, if I put my general there, I will gain a lot of points. So that's what I'm going to put my general here. So I get 1 victory point for putting the general there, or 1 battle track point. Then I also get a battle track point for every tank and aircraft I have in that area. So that means, to include the general. So that means I get another 4 points on the battle track. Now if there's a special tokens here, I could not count those as part of those points. So I get to move 4 more spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I hit a victory point marker, so I move 1 space on the victory point. I close that campaign out. I get 3 more victory points because the battle track's on my side. So 1, 2, 3, and now I'm in the lead 6-4. And that is the end of my turn. I'll go ahead and slide these down, draw another token. And it is a aircraft, the numeric value of 2. And we'll go ahead and draw a new strategy token out. Research and development. The filters for research and development is the theater filters prioritize theaters with research spaces. So theaters with research spaces on the campaigns they can go to are Western Europe, Africa and Middle East, and that's it. So those are the 2 campaigns they can go to. So once that's done, then it prioritizes research spaces only when it goes to the campaigns. So it's going to go to one of these 2 here. It can't close and win in a theater, and it can't close and win in a campaign. So of course, one that offers the most victory points is going to be one of these 2 right here. Or not one of these 2, it's going to be this spot right here. So now we place units based upon what they can do. So we have to select a unit that will close the theater campaign. So as I said, once I was going to close campaign, and we need 1, 2, 3, 4, we need 6 more slots to close the theater out. Units that can be legally placed are ground and water. So being the AI it was going to put this tank right here. So we give itself 4 points. 1, 2, 3, 4. Gives it 2 more victory points. So it's stacked right there. And it gets to draw another special weapons unit from the bag and add it to its bag. And that ends AI's turn, and it's pretty much 2 points away from actually 1, because if it goes here, that's 1 point plus whatever point goes on there. So we'll go ahead and add the AI its next token. And it's a tank with a value of 3. Now it's my turn. I got a lot going on. I can go here and close it out if I put a 4 aircraft there, but it also deletes that. I need to move that back as much as possible because it's close to winning this campaign. I don't want it to win. Strategically, it's just, I think, smarter. I close it, he wins. He gets 3 victory points. Oh my goodness. But I keep the theater open. Oh, by the way, I guess I should go over win conditions. So the first one that gets to 25 points wins the game. So the 25 victory points here, they'll win the game. Or if one of us runs out of units to place on the board, then the other person automatically wins the game. That's pretty much the win conditions there. So if you run out, or if you just can't place it because there's not a slot for it, then you've lost the game. So I don't want him to close out that theater. I need to work this row. So I'm just going to go ahead and do this. Don't want to when I have to. So total of 3 points. 1, 2, 3. I take the 2 victory points away from him, which is good. And that kind of delays him from winning that theater in Africa and the Middle East. And hopefully I can take advantage of that next row. Then I replace my token. It's a battleship with a 1. And we'll see, we'll grab another stratagem token. Back to rapid deployment again. Oh, forgot to, the AI has 3 victory points for winning that campaign. So 1, 2, 3. So he's now 1 point ahead of me. That means the AI gets to pick the leftmost or topmost unit that can legally place. So if I can't place a tank, it's going to place the aircraft. So then we look for theaters it can close out and win. And just looking at it, it can go right here. So it puts a tank here, plus the 2 tactical points, gives it 5 total here. It needs 5 to win, so it's automatically going to go here. So it's going to close out that theater with the 5 points, gain 2 more victory points for passing the victory point marker there on the battle track. And then it gains 5 points for closing out that campaign because it won the theater, so it automatically wins the campaign. So it goes to 14 points. And based upon the rules, how I read and understood them, he gets to take the actions of the rest of the campaigns there. Luckily, it's just the improved industrial location, which means instead of grab 1 token, he gets to grab 2 tokens out of the bag. And he's going to place those 2 right there. He has a number 2 tank and looks like he has a general. Well, that sucks. That means his general's going to get a lot of points if I put him in play. He will take advantage of that. And that's the end of his turn. Now it's my turn. I'm going to have to get rid of, I'm going to have to take a chance to get rid of that general. I'm going to use my aircraft with the bombing on it, my advanced aircraft. And then I'm going to take that bombing action and that bombing action. So I can take two bombing actions. First I move the battle track one space to my advantage. And I get to take out two of his tokens randomly. So I'm going to put in my hand, shake them up. I'm going to hope that the general falls out. And like I said, when you take them out of the play, they don't go back to the bag. They go to a discard pile. I check out a number one battleship. That's not a general. Come on, general. Let me get rid of that general. And the number one battleship. General stays in play. And I'll just stack these back up here. So at least he's down to 5 tokens instead of the 7 that he had. Kind of leveling the playing field a little bit for myself. And I did forget to add another token for him at the end of the play. So he got his 2 plus 1. So I don't think that would have changed the effects of what I pulled out. So I'm not going to worry about it. And then I get my token into my play. And say number 2 battleship. Do next stratagem token. And I do think the Axis are going to beat me down on this unless I figure something out real quick. And it's the counterattack stratagem token. For counterattack, it chooses a theater where I am in the greatest lead. There's only one, and that's right here. So it's going to place a token there. So it can only place air and ground units. So let's see, these two here. Battleship doesn't count. The general will not have any effect because there's not any of their tanks there, so or aircraft, so it doesn't count that. So it's these right here that's going to cause most damage. So that's complete. Now we look at can't close campaign, so it's going to have to go through its priority list again. And if it has greater than 20 points, it can pick the propaganda. It doesn't. So then it's going to look for strategic advantage. There's a strategic advantage there. So then it's going to place a unit which causes the most damage. So right here. So it's going to do strategic advantage. Gives himself 3 points. 1, 2, 3. Puts me back 1 point on the victory track. And then he gets to change battle track points on any other theater. So in that case, he's going to do this. 1, 2, 3. Get him closer to win there, and he gets another victory point. Slide these down. He's going to get replaced with another unit. And it's in tank. Now it's my turn. I need to start. So I'm going to put my number 4 aircraft right there. It counters the effect of the campaign of the battle space. There's nothing on that effect. So I'm going to put it there. And it's going to cause me to gain 4 more points back. And I get 1 point back on the victory track. And now we do this. Let me draw my next token out. An Admiral. Admiral has the same effect for generals, but instead of ground and air, it's water and air. That gives it extra points. And the next strategic token is Big Guns. Alright, once again, Big Guns filters are, if you have special tokens out here, you would use them. If you don't, then you pick the units that can cause the greatest change. So let's see here, based on theater, it seems obvious it's going to be the battle tank with 2 points on it, but we've got to make sure. We know the general can't come into play because, to be honest with you, the Axis has very little in the way of tanks on the board, with the exception of this one right here, but this theater's closed out. Looking at the other areas, it has aircraft, but that's about it. He could go here, he can get 4 victory points for his, or 2 victory points for his aircraft, but nothing for the tank. So we'll see what happens there. And that may end up becoming a thing because he gets 2 strategic points also. But let's go down the priority list. So theater that can close and win, can't close and win any theaters. It's too far away still. So we're looking at campaigns that can close and win. Can't close and win any campaigns. They can go here, here, and won't close and win it. They'll just counteract my advantage there, but not by much anymore. If he goes there, he can pull back 4 points, so lose 1 victory point. But it looks like I'm going to win that campaign there and end up winning that theater. He could go here or here and get 2 more tokens. And, well, I can't go there because that's Africa and the Middle East. It's closed out. Got to remember that theater's closed. He still has this available. these two slots and those two slots. So can't close any campaigns. So let's look at the next advantage is the most empty spaces in an open campaign. So this and this are the two areas that he can go to. And he has the best advantage up here. They're both tied on victory points. So it's top to bottom. So once again, so looks like he's going to drop his battle tank right here. Get 2 battle track points there. He was on research. And of course when he goes to research, he gets to go draw another special weapon. So, and he gets to put that in his bag. Now he draws another token to replace the one he just used. And it's a battleship number 2. Now I get to go. I am definitely going to, guess I want to use my number 2 aircraft. I was hoping I had a tank. Use my number 2 aircraft. I'm going to go right here. I'm getting 2 on the battle track, but I'm going to gain 2 victory points right there. And I need victory points over tactical points at this time. And I'll go ahead and draw my token. And next round, I'm going to close out that theater. The battle tank number 3. Now let's draw another stratagem token. It is the secure token. So for secure, its filter is choose a theater where the AI has the lead. So it has the lead in this theater, and nothing. It's a tie there. So it's between these 2 theaters here. So then the next filter is it's still a tie. It's in the lead. So a campaign can close and win. Can't close and win either campaign. So of course we pick one with the most empty spaces. None, 2 and 2, 2 empty spaces. That doesn't work. So the one that gives the most victory points. This one here. So it's going to go right here. So therefore it's going to place its token on the tactical advantage, which is right here. And it's going to be the number 2 battleship because it gives it the most points, and it gets another 2 points in there. So it goes 2 points here, and it gets to pick another 2 points in any theater of its choice. And I think it's going to pick these 2 points here because it wants to win real easy, and gives itself 2 more victory points. And then we replace its token. Definitely need to start collecting up here. So now I'm in a situation, but I think I know what I need to do. I want to close this out and call it a day, but he is about to close this out. But if I put, it's number 3, if I put this here, go back 3 spaces, it's even, which means neither of us gets the points, which is good enough for me because I stopped him from getting 3 more victory points. And I can always go back here later and finish that next round. So I'm going to go grab a token, draw a token out. And it's a battle tank with a 2. Next stratagem token. It is counterattack. Counterattack's filters are theater filters. Choose theaters where I, the player, am in the lead. And then choose for unit filters, pick units that can cause the greatest change. So looking at this, the general can actually cause the greatest change. So if I go down the priority list, it's theaters where it can close and win. Even though I'm in the lead, it can also close and win a theater instead. So of course it's going to pick that. It's going to go right here. Remember, the general gets a battle track point automatically for going on the board, so that's 1. He gets a victory point for going over the space here. But he also gets a victory point for every tank, aircraft, or himself that's in that campaign, which is another 2 points, which means he just closed out that campaign and took victory. And now he goes up 2 more victory points. Based upon the rule book, he gets to take each of these actions now. He's not going to get the campaign victory points. So he gets to draw another unit from the bag and add it to his stack. And he drew a special weapons, looks like a carrier with bombing. He gets to take another unit for this one. So it is a tank with a value of 3. He gets to do the strategic advantage, and it'd be smart for him to, well, he knows he's not going to win that, so does he really want to mess with that? So I think with the strategic advantage, the rules for him is to execute the modifier, which gives him the greatest advantage. And right now, it'd probably be this right here. So you just go 3 on the strategic advantage. Bomb, you just do a bombing on my tokens here. So randomly shake up and drop one out. Oh man, it was my Admiral. Dispose that in the discard pile. Place these back out really fast here. And for this right here, he gets to draw a token from the research pile, which is the yellow tokens, and he adds it directly to his reserve pool right here. And he drew the spy, and the spy gets to copy the value of any unit that I lay when he lays it. So if I lay the number 2 tank, that spy becomes a number 2 tank when he drops wherever he wants to drop it at. And so he's gotten all that, plus he gets his other token just for ending his turn. Looks like an aircraft carrier with the Blitz symbol on it, the lightning bolt. And now it's my turn. He's already closed out another theater, and so there's only 2 theaters remaining. So I'm going to go ahead and jump on this right now. I'm going to put my aircraft down. So aircraft is 1. I get 2 victory points. And then of course I get 2 more for tactical advantage. So I'm not closing out. I didn't like close out the battle track, but I finished off the entire campaign. So I get 6 more victory points because I'm in the lead. So up to 16. And now I draw another token from my bag to fulfill what I've just played. And it's a number 2 tank. Draw the next stratagem token out. And it's paratroopers again, rapid deployment. Alright, for rapid deployment, you draw the leftmost or topmost token, which is the Blitz aircraft carrier. And so can't close out a theater, can't close out a campaign, so break ties, most victory points right here because they have 3 spaces each because there's the only 2 theaters left remaining. So the aircraft carrier is going to go down the priority list. If we go in numerical order, 1 and 2, that's 1 right there. When we count down the list like we always have. So first of all, propaganda. Propaganda, if it has greater than 20 points or equal, it is sitting on 20 points. It's equal to or greater than 20 points on the victory track, so it gets to go right here to this propaganda. It gains 2 more victory points immediately, 1 on the battle track, and because it's a blitz, it gets to draw another unit. So we go ahead and put the stratagem token back in the bag, shake it up, and draw another unit. This is big guns. Of course, big guns means if you have special units on the board, you ignore everything else, and then you pick the one that causes the most damage. This is going to cause the most because it's bombing. So it's going to get 2 on the battle track, which takes it to the next victory point. But there's 2 bombings on there. The bombing is going to, and then the bombing it's on. So I got to lose 2 tokens. This is good thing I'm not running World War II. We would have lost that one and that one are the 2 that comes out. And I lost a tank, a number 2 tank, and a number 1 aircraft carrier. It means I have, or battleship, I have 2 battleships remaining, a 1 and a 2, and a number 2 tank. Draw another token out of the bag for the Axis. And it is an aircraft with the number 1 on it. Now it's my turn. I am really struggling. I can go here, get 2 back. I'll take a victory point away, but then it closes out the campaign, gets 5 victory points, he's going to win the game. Good chance he's going to win the game no matter what now. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to put, oh my goodness, I'm struggling. So I'm going to put my number 2 battleship on the propaganda, gain 2 victory points, move this space 2 squares, and end my turn right there. And now it is time to draw another stratagem token. There's a good chance, what is a good chance? Yeah. If we follow the guidelines, this game is over next round. And we have rapid deployment again. I forgot to grab my tokens. Let me grab that out. I need everything I can get right now. And it's a 1 aircraft. And I moved the battle track marker wrong direction. It's 2 towards the Allies. And double check the rules. I think for the Nippon expansion, first one 25 wins. But for just the basic Blitzkrieg game, it's complete the round, and then whoever's victor is a victor right now. But now that that's done, we got rapid deployment, and for rapid deployment, that means, like before, choose the topmost, which is the aircraft number 1. Theater or campaign, it can close and win. Well, it can close and win this campaign here. So it gets 1 for the battle track, 5 for victory points, which puts it up to 28. I wish it was 23. And that ends that turn for them. I will shake up the bag and pull out another token just in case I can pull off some crazy miracle. And now it's my turn. Well, theater's closed. The only one that goes here. I'll put the number 2 battle tank here. Move this 2 spaces. Get 1 victory point. Gain another victory point for going over the propaganda. And that ends the game. And the Axis in the multiverse alternate reality won World War II with a total of 28 to 20 on victory points. And that is how Blitzkrieg is played. I think this game took about 40 minutes because between explaining the rules and everything, it slows down. But I've played this before. If you know the priorities and what each token means, it goes pretty quick. But if you got to stop and reference a little bit, it's going to take you about 30 minutes. So World War II in 20 minutes if you know the rules really well. Probably World War II in about 30 minutes. But other than that, we'll get into my final thoughts. See you in a moment. Blitzkrieg World War II in 20 minutes. I like the game. It's fun. I'm not a big tabletop warfare type gamer, only because we did it for 30 years in the Army. You know, we did tabletop exercises a lot before we actually did the real drill. So it's just too much like doing work for me when I was in the Army. So I shy away from that. But Blitzkrieg caught my eye. It was different than those, so I enjoyed it. I would say this is a good little minor gateway into tabletop warfare if you're trying to find someone will like it or not. Granted, it's not like those big boxes where you're moving pieces across the boards and you got the C's and everything. But, you know, placing these tokens and seeing what they do is a very minor way of getting an idea if someone may or may not like it. So it's a good little minor gateway. You can get them in there. You can test the waters with them and see if they like that, then advance it on up, go to the next level. I liked it, but I already know what the next level is, and it's not for me. But this game is, so I really like it. They had a couple more games out there, Caesar and Dogfights. I am going to probably play Dogfight soon. I might get Caesar and try that also. But I like the company. I like what they did, and I enjoyed the game. So hopefully you'll enjoy it too. Once again, thank you for joining me at Gaming Solo. It is truly appreciative and humbling that you are spending your time with me. And I know your time is valuable, so I cannot give that back to you, but hopefully with the content that I'm producing, it is well worth your time. If you have any questions or comments or any ways that I can improve the channel that's within my means, then let me know in the comments below. If you don't want to put your comments in the public domain, then email me at gamingsolo1of1@gmail.com, and I will reply back the suggestions or anything that you gave me. I will keep the email until I'm done with it, and then I will delete it, and I promise you from my end I will not put that out in the public domain. Also, when you get the opportunity, go to the Facebook page Solo Board Gamers and check those guys out. They have content producers, they have board game designers, and of course people like you and I who are just into playing solo board gaming and just want to get some more content. Join the page, contribute, and see what they got to offer you. It's a great group of people and a lot of good dialogue in there. There's some debates going on there right now that I've come across that caught me off guard. But I enjoyed reading the debates. I tried to get involved in them because it just pushes the envelope a little too far for me. But I read them and I enjoy it, and I like watching the counter arguments to certain things. But other than that, like I said, thank you again for joining me Gaming Solo, and I'll see you at the next playthrough. And have a great day.